That's a cow, man.
A little excited there this morning.
Yes, it's louder in the morning.
Really? Really?
All right then. Good morning. Welcome to the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees, August 12th, 2014 budget hearing. Ask for a roll call.
Trustee Ash.
Here.
Trustee Breidenthal.
Here.
Trustee Daniels.
Here.
Trustee Plunger.
Here.
Trustee Maddox.
Here.
Trustee Rios.
Here.
Trustee Townsend.
Present.
All right. Ask for audience to patrons and petitioners relative to the budget. Anyone wishing to speak about the budget? Okay, moving on to item 3. Ask for a motion to approve the 2014-2015 budget.
Move approval of the 2014-15 budget.
Second.
Presented.
It's been moved and seconded for approval of the 2014-2015 budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ask for a motion to adjourn the budget hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn the budget hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The budget hearing ends. Now we will move to our regular board meeting agenda, and I ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask for a roll call for the regular session.
Trustee Ash.
Here.
Trustee Breidenthal.
Here.
Trustee Daniels.
Here.
Trustee Plunger.
Here.
Trustee Maddox.
Here.
Trustee Rios.
Here.
Trustee Townsend.
Here.
Ask for a motion to approve the agenda as posted.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as posted. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the July 22nd, 2014 Board of Trustees meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question about minutes.
Yes, sir.
This may be for Mr. Wynn on page 10.
Yes, Dr. Daniels.
The second item down where it mentions following the state of law, Trustee Daniels motion to approve Trozzola, but amended to approve the state of Missouri be included in media coverage. That wasn't.
No.
So my question was about, the contract said it would be subject to laws of Missouri, and my question was about the laws of Kansas. So what would be the correct wording of that?
Trustee Daniels asked if the contract would follow the laws of the state of Missouri, period. The answer was no. Council Wynn indicated that such laws are prohibited by law, and they are specifically mentioned as being voidable in connection with the Kansas Department of Administrative Form 146A, which is typical of what you do. When we have these contracts before, one of the things we put in there is to the extent permitted by law, and then we make reference to the DA Form 146A. And so with regard to your answer, the answer is that's to the extent permitted by law with reference to number 19 that I'm referring to there. But the Missouri law will not be the governing law, even if it stays in the document, because under Kansas, you don't have the authority to agree to that. Is that too long an answer?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the short answer to what should it say instead of be included in media coverage? The question was really about, shouldn't it read Kansas rather than Missouri?
The answer is yes. It should read Kansas instead of Missouri.
So I'll make one last thing on same page down the next item. Just wording, Wyandotte Healthy Communities is really Healthy Communities Wyandotte is an the Healthy Communities Wyandotte is the actual organization. And with those amendments, I'll move approval.
Seconded with the amendments.
It's been moved and seconded. We accept the minutes from the July meeting with the amendments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Let's see, getting back to the agenda. Next item 5, audience to patrons and petitioners. Anyone wish to speak to the Board of Trustees this morning? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 6, communications. Madam President?
Mr. Chair, we have a letter of commendation from Mr. Kevin Steele, who's the Assistant Chief of Police, regarding Mr. Donald Alder's leadership in the department's training academy program over the years that he has been working with the academy.
Well, thank you. Is he here this morning?
No, he's not.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll make that part of the record.
Okay.
Item 7, the President's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have Dr. Long here, and he has with him the new RAs for the 2014-2015 year. So he would like to introduce them to the board. They've been very active already, and there was an invitation for the board and for the leadership team to come over and see the work that has gone on over in the student housing, and some of us were able to do that this week and meet the RAs, but they're here this morning, and Dr. Long would like to introduce them to the board.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Just so you know, this group of students usually gets up to about 5 and spends a couple hours studying, so this is not unusual for them. I'm proud to introduce our new resident assistants as well as our supervisor of student housing, and I'll let them introduce themselves. They're very interesting, diverse, excellent group of student leaders, and I'm very, very proud of them. A couple of you had the opportunity to meet them. So what I would ask them to do is just to say who they are and where they're from and what their major is, and then we'll get out of your way.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Griffin, and originally from Kansas City, and I'm the housing supervisor.
Sean Berkey. I'm originally from Miami, Oklahoma, down by Joplin, Missouri, and I'm be doing an accelerated bachelor's degree here, 2+2 program.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is T, and I'm from Vietnam. I graduated here last year in applied science, and I'm going here for my second degree in paramedic. It's nice to meet all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Jim Anchos. I'm from Poplar Bluff, Missouri. I graduated here last year, and I'm on the 2+2 in the Bachelor of Social Work at Kansas University. And I'm also doing more transfer credits and hope to do some more addiction classes here.
Very good.
Good morning.
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 My name is Patrick Haltwinger. I am a journalism and mass communications major here. I'm originally from Kansas City, but I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I will be in Building 7. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one other resident assistant, and she had a family emergency, Frances Morales from Puerto Rico, and I asked her to come back for the meeting, but she just thought that a flight from Puerto Rico was a little bit long. I'm going to be handing you their schedule as well as a final copy of the Student Code of Conduct, and Thank you very much for your time, and we will be inviting you to come in and see the facility. A couple of you did get a chance to do that, but we're very proud of it, and we won't show it off. Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you.
I think Trustee Ash and Trustee Rios were able to go over this week and meet the students and see the progress that has been made over there. I was amazed at the decorating prowess, I guess, for Dr. Long has. That's a hidden talent that he hadn't told us about. He had decorated in pink for the ladies and blue for the men, and it was beautiful the way he had laid out the room. So thank you so much, Dr. Long. Yesterday's in-service went very well. I didn't hear any complaints. There was so much information given yesterday, and we worked really hard to make sure that it was varied so that people did not get bored or sleepy. So it went very well. People were still alert and asking questions and paying attention to what was going on. So that was an exciting opening day or in-service for us here at the college. The Center for Workforce, Center for Workforce Development and Entrepreneurship is the new name for our Career Center. It will offer many of the same services, but it will become the place where we will house our internships for students who are interested in exploring internships during their time here at KCKCC. So we changed that name. There will be 2 directors, one for workforce development, one for entrepreneurship, and a technical assistant who will learn both programs. And that person will be consistently stationed in the office while the other 2 will be out looking for collaborative opportunities for our students in the workplace. The KCKCC quarterly meeting is coming up. It'll be at Pratt on September 12th and 13th. If board members are planning to go, please let Peggy know so that we can make your reservations for housing. Noah Brown, the president and chief executive of ACCT, will be here for that meeting. Also, several senators and representatives from Kansas have been invited, and I haven't seen the list of who plans to attend, but they have been invited. On October 29th, the Board of Trustees, each one of you has been asked to have breakfast with the Supreme Court justices from the state of Kansas who will be hosting the court here on our campus. Breakfast will be at 8 a.m. Please let Peggy know if you plan to attend so that we can make sure that we have enough breakfast for everyone. That's October 29th at 8 a.m. There will be a print shop open house today from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So as soon as we finish here, we'll be going over to the print shop. And all of you are invited to go over there. We already talked about the student housing walkthrough. And that completes my report.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Moving on to item,
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the president's report.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded, we accept the president's report. Sorry about that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This should be item 8. Vice President for Academic Affairs report.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to start my report by making an announcement. Stacy Tucker, who is the director of our honors in PTK, has been asked to serve as and is accepted to serve as the Associate Kansas Regional Coordinator for PTK. I think the PTK group felt that they were getting so large and there was so much to do. These are all voluntary positions. And so they asked her to step into that leadership role at the state level. So we're very proud of Stacy for taking on that responsibility as we move on. It brings a lot of recognition into Kansas City, Kansas Community College when we have leaders doing those types of things at the state level. You have my report. I'd be glad to entertain any questions if anyone has any.
I just noted on page 13, press releases weren't going to the Echo yet. Is that going to commence?
It appeared in the paper.
In the Echo?
Yes, it did.
Okay, because it's not
I have
noted in
copies
there.
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. And then on page 14, I was just wondering, could we start receiving monthly incident reports? Feel that we probably ought to be, as a board, tracking a little better of incidents going on campus and making sure we're, and now, you know, especially when we're going to be looking at the activity a little more closely around the field, track and so forth. Just think that if we could have the our chief include on the report, that would be.
He provides that to me every month. There are some things that probably are protected. I'll look for a format to present it to the board, and I'll work with Daryl Wynn on that.
Okay. And on page 15, the supervisor of housing was very professional, cordial when she was giving the tour of the apartments. But she did note to me she was beginning her position without email and phone service. I was wondering if she, in fact, was able to get that. I don't know how she was doing her job without having that capability.
I think she had just started like a day or two before, but
Board approval on her position is today, and once she receives that, she will get all the email and related items.
she is.
Oh, how has she been able to perform? Because she started. I get, but I'm just wondering how we expected somebody to really work.
I'll speak on the email part. I don't know anything about the
Phone.
But typically when an employee starts, when a new employee starts, HR processes their employment paperwork, and once that's processed, the system goes into the workflow, takes the paperwork into IS, Social Services, and an email is created for them as well as a network account so they can have access to computers on campus.
Okay.
So I don't know how long before your visit with her she had been on campus, but that typically does not take more than 2 or 3 days.
It was 3 days. It was the 8th, and she started on the 5th.
Yeah, so she probably had email access by the end of the day that you were there.
Okay. Yes.
What happened, we really needed to get Lisa started, so we asked Dr. Gibbons if she could start a few days early prior to the board.
Sure.
And so basically, we don't send out anything until they've been approved by the board, and we send it so the next day. But by Lisa starting a little early, we needed to get her with Dr. Long, but we didn't process anything. I know that sounds a little strange, but that's what happened.
Okay.
There's
So
a
that
telephone in the
they
office.
were waiting on HR.
that she's been assigned downstairs. There's been a telephone there since Dr. Long and I went and looked at the space. So she did have a telephone in her office. Nevertheless, that was my responsibility, and I'm sorry that didn't happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And a question on page 16 about the enrollment numbers, 6 days, fairly significantly below what we were this time last year, except for the tech school. Any reasons why we think, just, I know we predicted that we probably weren't going to have as.
Probably did, yeah, really don't know. I think We're starting open enrollment today at Leavenworth, and then tomorrow here, and then at the Tech Center. We'll see these numbers come up. This is kind of a unique comparison. I've asked them to start making comparison the number of days before, so that we know we're comparing likes to like. So we'll just see this. Right now I couldn't tell you why.
Right.
It's a little low, but
Well, we'll hope it'll catch up over the next few days. Also just had a question on page 18 about the TABE assessment system in adult education.
the TABE testing?
Yeah.
TABE is a test that really assists where the students are in terms of the K through 12 system, and that's what that's designed to do. It tests up to, I think, grade 13 for the high school. It's where they are kind of in the high school.
And that's different than one we give to our incoming students.
Yes, our incoming students take the COMPASS test, which assesses their college readiness. TABE is often used in conjunction with adult basic education, GED, to kind of determine where a student is, what kind of courses they would belong in if you were placing them in high school. And that.
And finally, on page 20, just congratulations to the Fire Academy for the great numbers on people passing their program. It's pretty special.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Nancy Thomas has worked really hard with the Fire Academy and making great strides there.
That's great success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me sort of, I had highlighted that too, kind of just real quickly, the difference in switching to the Fire Academy style of delivery? Because obviously that made a difference.
That I'm not. Ed, can you address that? Yeah.
So what Nancy's group had decided was that with the Fire Academy, what they're going to do is, a lot of these students are working, and a lot of them, as soon as they get their EMT, which they may or may not have when they start, it's about 50 or 60% that already do. They are on shift work, and so what they've done is they created the academy style to say, we will teach an afternoon. They teach Fire 1 on Tuesday, Hazmat on Wednesday, and Fire 2 on Thursday. Those are the first 3 courses for all the firefighter students. And so by doing that, the students are actually there, they're getting more skill set and readiness work, and they're kind of cohort treated. So it just kind of puts them in a group that keeps them together, helps them study better, helps them work better. We've got several lab assistants that are helping because we've increased the number of students so much in that area that we need a lab instructor working with the teacher so that they can get through doing knots and air packs, and they do a lot of, putting on their gear, and just a lot of work, and those lab assistants are all firefighters. So between all of that makes a big impact on helping them prepare. They also switched to Saturday, one Saturday a month. They do basically a full 8-hour day of skills training for the Fire 1 course. And that takes the students through quite a bit. They're able to accomplish things like going through the little metal building down here. They black out their masks so that, because in a fire you can't see anything. And so they black out their masks, and they basically are sent through a maze of the house. They rearrange the furniture, and they have them go through and practice those types of things so that they're getting a lot more skills set training than they were before.
Great.
And Nancy's very intrusive in her advising, so that also has
Oh,
helped
that
a ton.
intrusive advising.
She is a big advocate for getting them in there and figuring out and helping keep them on a track to get them through.
Great, thank you.
Move approval of the Vice President's report.
Second.
It's been moved. Seconded, approval of the Vice President report. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, nay? Opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Back to the agenda. Vice President Bodie.
My report is on page 22, and I'd answer any questions that you have on my report. I would like to tell you that the project from Chevron, lighting's up to about 85 to 90% completed. Windows are about 80% completed. The roof on the PAC and the roof on the math science buildings are complete, except for some decorative coping around the outside edges. And they didn't jackhammer today on the roof of this building like they have been and like they will be this afternoon and tomorrow. So we did get them to stop.
Thank you.
I'd just like to mention again the new college website seems to be getting good reviews and really well done. It's a very nice mess. Good job.
I was also glad to see under Information Services the internet connectivity efforts for a lot of the groups that and advisors that meet on campus. It's going to make things a lot easier. I know, and being in meetings and somebody's going, okay, I can't. What's the password? What's that? I hope that works. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be great. Thank you.
Very good. Any more questions of Vice President Bodie? Motion to approve as a report.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept Vice President Bodie's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Finance A, pay the bills.
Request your approval of payment of the bills.
Finance Committee has reviewed, recommends approval of payment of the bills.
Second.
So moved and seconded, we, to approve item A, payment of the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, financial report.
Request your approval of the financial reports on pages 85 to 88.
Finance Committee has reviewed. We do note that on the cumulative report, that expenditures were at 93%. So we want to commend the deans and staff for watching expenditures. It's always appreciated. And we were well within budget the last fiscal year, and that's always a good thing. Also note that we had the second lowest kilowatt usage. The weather, I'm sure, had a little bit to do with that, but we did have the highest cost per kilowatt hour for a July over the 10 years that we've reviewed these things. So
The weather really helped, and then taking all the windows out every day, because there was at least two rooms every day without any windows. So we were really happy that we did not have a real hot July, because with the windows missing in those rooms, the heat poured into this building.
BPU
move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. We accept the financial report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, recommendations.
Ask your approval of item 11C, 1 through 8, and we'll answer any questions.
Recommend approval.
Second.
Item C, 1 through 8. I'd like to ask the General Counsel if we could table item 7 for clarification in executive session.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you would, I'm assuming that there's something you'd like to talk with your counsel about, and it would be communication deemed privileged within the attorney-client relationship. So with that understanding, the answer is that you certainly may, and so my suggestion is that you approve it with the exception of that item tabled, and then you'll come back and take up action if you deem necessary at the close of executive session.
Thank you.
Amend my motion to be 1 through 6 and 8 for approval, tabling item 7 for possible action after executive session.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve items C 1 through 6 and 8, and tabling item 7. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have a question about the bakery. When is that going to be open? Is that going to be open to the public?
No, that's an academic program.
An academic
It's-
program?
Yeah.
I don't. Some places they do open them up to the public.
Yeah, and maybe as they get to the point where they're baking and doing that, we may have some items for sale.
Okay.
But we'll certainly look into it. So I know I'd be interested
Yeah, me
in
too.
maybe doing some.
Bakery sounds really good. Thank you.
Next item, entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel matters to protect the privacy interest of the individuals to be discussed, and executive session for consultation with legal counsel on matters protected by the attorney-client privilege.
So moved.
Second.
Didn't give a time limit.
20 minutes,
20
Mr. Chairman,
minutes.
with 5 minutes for the appropriate breaks.
Okay. Add 20 minutes to that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll enter into executive.
With action to follow.
Thank you.
And
I'd like to reconvene the meeting, please.
Level.
Ask us to come to order.
As long as you got to that, you could graduate at the end.
Okay, I'd like to return to under finance item C7. Ask for a motion to approve item C7.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve item C under recommendation 7. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, reports from committees. Hearing none, we'll move.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry, I didn't give you time.
I was just looking down at Ray. Ray and I were going to kind of give an update on the gala, making sure you, first of all, save the date for this wonderful event, October 25th. And I was going to pull out all my information. We are certainly still looking for event sponsors and corporate donors and certainly table sponsors. So please pass those along to Patrick or the committee. We would greatly appreciate that. We do, as many of you may know, have an event sponsor. We're very grateful to have AT&T as our event sponsor. We're having a live auction with the Nigro Brothers, which will really be a fun time, and a silent auction. And one of the items on that live auction is going to be dinner with Frank White. We don't have all the details on that, but certainly that will be an item that I'm sure will be a popular one. Ray, did you have anything you wanted to add? We have the...
They have a really good committee, and Patrick's doing a good job of leading that, Dewana, and it's going to be a great event.
Well, and we also, I think it's safe now to announce that we have selected the Wyandotte Countian of the Year, which is former Mayor Joe Reardon, and also Alumnus of the Year, which is Karen Orr. She's CNO at Providence Medical Center, and I understand she's got a lot of wonderful things to her credit that you will all be hearing more about. Anything else, Patrick, that at this point we want to announce? Just make sure you save the date, keep track of it on our wonderful new website, and any questions or ideas, please pass those along. We look forward to seeing you all there and to getting more and more sponsors. We're doing well with that, and we anticipate this is going to be a great first annual event.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Personnel report.
Right.
Page 5 there.
Yeah.
Page
Yeah.
3 it is, yeah.
Page 3, personnel report.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
I'd like to present the August 2014 Personnel Report. Section A has separations information for your review, numbers 1 through 6. And Section B, recommendations and approval, items 7 through 25, I believe. I'd like to submit for your approval, 7 through 25.
Cheryl, on the separation of information, number 3, resignation of Paul Hancock, it says transition to employment coordinator.
Yes, transition to employment coordinator.
So is he still employed by us?
His last day is going to be this Friday.
That's the name of his job, sir.
That's his job title.
His job title is
Oh, I'm sorry.
transition.
Yeah, he's in the
Yeah, thank
T4E
you.
program, and that's, you know, to assist people from moving from
Right.
training to employment.
Yeah, thank you.
Move approval of the recommendations. Second.
So moved and seconded to accept the recommendations of the Director of Human Resources. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I
Thank you.
apologize for
Thank you,
skipping
Cheryl.
over
All
that.
right, thank you.
Got a little anxious there. Now, back to unfinished business. You all should have received a communication from Dr. Givens regarding the committees. We tabled that to this meeting, and I want to move back to that and ask for approval of the committees as communicated from Dr. Givens. Do I need to read them?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
So moved and seconded that the committees remain the same as communicated by Dr. Givens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other unfinished business?
Mr. Chairman, I was wondering if we could get an update on the status of the program we approved last month on access to the track.
Has the company finished? Yes.
We ordered, before the last meeting, we ordered the electronic locks for the turnstile. They have not arrived. We're waiting on TED Systems to
Equipment.
get that from the company to put that lock on. We got electricity right there waiting. We're just waiting for that part. It is a specialized part. Turnstiles don't normally have that kind of a locking mechanism, and so I've been working with Jason and Greg on where it's at, but as far as I know, it's ordered. It just hasn't gotten here yet.
And I also asked Mr. Bodie to check on what you suggested, one of you last time, in answer to the question, can we check them when they're going out so that we can have data to say not only that they came to work out, but how long they stayed on the track. So, Brian, have you gotten a response
Yes, I
on that?
had Jason check on that, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that. There is some issues with safety. If the electricity goes out and that gate is locked and there's a tornado coming, how do they get out of the field? The fire thing, I said, what's going to burn out there? There's nothing to burn, but there are issues with free egress that we have to have free egress. So I don't think that TED Systems code guy and their guy both recommended no to Jason that we do that. And so I don't think we're going to be able to do that.
What is the process for, first of all, letting people know about this new access, and also the process for getting the cards? Have you?
Yes, ma'am. We've, as soon as we have a date that it's going to be there to put up, we will obviously put signs at the track. We will put it on our website. We will have our people do a press release. Campus Police is prepared when that starts to open at 5 a.m. when they open their office. It will direct everyone to the Campus Police office to get an ID card. And that ID card will have on it the magnetic code to touch the door and open the turnstile.
Okay.
But we understand we got to get it out as fast as we can, and we'll put signs around and we'll put it on the website and have Kelly do a notice into the newspaper or whatever we can to notify them. But Dr. Givens Worked all that out with Greg and everything, that they're going to be open when people start arriving.
It was a little bit longer because we had to have electricity over there because of,
I know.
so it's been a process.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, people ask me, and I just want to give them the most updated
Yeah.
information. Yeah, okay, thank you.
We're anxious too.
Oh, I know.
Okay, thank you very much. I've had a couple more inquiries, and I responded, we were waiting on the equipment, so that was accurate. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other unfinished business? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Move the second, we adjourn, the meeting's adjourned.